You write also in the book about gratitude, which plays a major role in the book.
Yeah.
Somebody once said, happiness is not getting what you want. It's wanting what you get.
Wanting what you get.
Love the phrase.
Yeah.
Not getting what you want. It's wanting what you get.
Yeah.
Being happy, it's the old saying, the wealthiest person is the person who's satisfied with what it is they have.
Yeah. Well, and there's a reason that works. It's not about settling. It's not about accepting. It's not about resigning yourself. That's not being happy with what you get. Being happy with what you get means not accepting or resigning yourself. It means celebrating what you get. Because out of that celebration emerges a new energy that creates the next best thing or the next best version of that. So it's about just moving through life in a place of wonder and excitement about what is so. We stop arguing with life and say, this is what is so. And that creates a whole energy field. Ed, I don't want to get woo-woo on you, but energy creates the universe. The universe is energy. And that creates the energy of celebration and positivity. Reverend Norman Vincent Peale, a wonderful Christian minister from the Marble Collegiate Cathedral in New York City, wrote 50 years ago a wonderful book called The Power of Positive Thinking. That's all we're talking about here.
But they're wonderful words. But when you're sitting there being diagnosed with cancer, or you have a loved one who has just died, it's difficult
Last week my brother died.
Yeah. Okay. So where do you pull from to look at the positive, look at the gratitude, to look at the?
I'm grateful for my brother's life. I'm grateful for everything he gave to me. I'm grateful for everything I learned from him. I'm grateful that I am alive today to carry forward what he gifted to the world. And I'm grateful to God for him, for me, and for life. And that makes me want to get up tomorrow and make it a better world.
So you don't confuse this with sadness. Sadness is...
Sadness is okay. Sadness and unhappiness, I'm sorry, sadness and happiness are not mutually exclusive. If I didn't feel sad, and I feel the tears welling up in because this is very fresh in my life. My brother died last week at 65, way too young by some measures. But he lived a rich and full life. And if I didn't feel sad about that, that would say something about me as a human being here that I don't want to say. So I'm happy, in a sense, to be sad. I can celebrate my sadness as a part of the rich texture and the rich fabric of my life. And then I can take the gift that my sadness opens me up to, because it's when your heart is cracked wide open that it's able to receive all the true gifts of life, and then to pour them out again to everyone whose life you touch. And my brother Brian would have it no other way. I promise you.
How do you define happiness? Somebody once explained it to me as, when they're talking about the difference between fun and happiness.
Between fun?
Fun and happiness. Fun is what you experience while you're doing something. Happiness is the feeling you're left with after that act is finished.
Or when you're thinking about it.
Yes.
I think happiness, to me, is a sense of well-being. I think happiness, to me, I would define it as a place of inner peace and joy, a sense of wonder at the experience of life itself. And I think happiness to me is the absence of worry or anger or frustration or anything that steals my peace from me. I think that happiness is contentment magnified.
And do you still get angry and frustrated?
Oh, of course, I get angry every 5 minutes. I get angry all the time.
Right. So is there something that that clicks inside you that catches your attention and I need to get out of this and go into a gratitude?
I don't think that I find myself saying I need to get out of this. It just almost automatically disappears. My anger, which does come up for me, everyone who knows me knows that, but they will also tell you this: I don't stay angry for more than 10 minutes with anyone about anything. About anything. The worst thing could happen to me, and in 15 minutes it would be over. Now, it wasn't always that way with me. Years ago, I'd be happy for a long time. Angry for a long time. I could be angry for a week, a month, or even a year. I've learned to keep the window of anger down to around 10 to 15 minutes. And it's not by any process. It comes from an inner knowing that, A, it's pointless to stay angry. It doesn't serve anyone or about anything. It's good to express it and experience it. To repress the anger only causes it to turn into something greater than anger. Repressed anger becomes rage. And I have no intention of moving into rage. So I allow myself to have my anger and my frustrations, but I offload them very, very quickly because my life has taught me that on the other side of anger is the wonder of life itself recreated the way I choose to do it.
You also write in the book, you have, 17 steps?
Yeah.
We have a couple of them I'd like to talk to you about. One of them is stay in touch with who you are.
Yeah.
And we kind of talked about this before the show started. Be true to yourself.
Yeah, I think who you are, when I say stay in touch with who you are, Ed, I mean that in two levels. Who I am at the human level, in the basic physical world, that is, who is Neale Donald Walsch and who does he hope to be? And how do I want to experience myself in life, and what are the promises I've made to myself about myself, those that I have kept and those that I have failed to keep, and try to stay as close and as true to that as I possibly can. And then the second level at which I mean who I am is, who am I in the overall scheme of things? Who am I in the cosmology? Who am I in life itself? What is my right and correct relationship to all of it? And for that matter, what is my relationship to God? And I think that's an important question. I think it's the single most important question in life. So when I say stay in touch with who you are, I mean stay in touch with who you are, capital W, capital Y, capital A, who you are in relationship to all of it. Now, in my cosmology, and a lot of people don't agree with me, and it's okay, but in my cosmology, who I am is not just the son or the daughter or the child of God, but an aspect of divinity itself. I imagine myself to be divinity individuated.
A part of the whole.
A part of God, a part of the whole. Yes, you bet. Expressed in physical form. I think that life is God physicalized. If I could just carry this one step further, the reason that's important is that when I understand who I am, then I suddenly understand who you are. And when I see you as that, I begin to treat you in an entirely different way than I would have treated you before that. I could never hold you in the same way or in the same space once I start to see who you are. But I can't see who you are. I can't grant you anything that I don't grant myself. I can't grant you an identity that I cannot assume in the first person. But when I begin to see you as who you really are, I start treating you entirely differently. And that's what Louis Weiner understood.
So you're looking at everybody as part of the divine.
And part of me.
And part of you.
Because if we're all part of the same thing, then you are part of me and I am part of you. And I am more than I am more than my brother's keeper. I am, in fact, my brother.
It's a Beatles song.
In
I
fact,
am you and you are me, and we are all
the
together.
The Beatles had it all in one song. 16 lines.
The other thing, next on the list, give the experience you seek, whatever you wish to experience in your own life, cause another to experience in theirs. We kind of talked about that earlier.
It's the great secret of life. If we can just, if you want more compassion in your life, cause another to have more compassion in theirs. If you want more money in your life, cause another to have greater wealth in theirs. And if you want more love in your life, be the cause of others having more love in theirs. It's an unbeatable formula. You can't miss with this formula. And yet, as we've been told it time and time again throughout human history, we still don't do it, except when we do.
It's another Beatles song. And in the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
They understood all of it, didn't they?
Here's one that was interesting to me. Be clear that nothing you see is real. Now, what does that mean?
Well, it means that everything is an illusion at some level. You know, and by the way, this is science. This is not spiritual philosophy.
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics, exactly. Yeah. Quantum physics. Everything, nothing that you see, nothing that is observed is unaffected by the observer. That is, perspective creates everything. The hill from which you're looking at creates your experience of what you're looking at. Perspective creates perception. Perception creates your belief. Your belief creates your experience. Your experience creates your reality. And your reality creates your next perspective. It's a circle. Mm-hmm. So the whole thing is how you see it. It's all made up in our minds, really. Byron Katie wrote a wonderful book called Loving What Is, in which he makes it very clear that everything is what you think it is. Or as Shakespeare put it, nothing is evil, lest thinking make it so. He had some wonderful things to say, by the way, did Shakespeare. He was a marvelous metaphysician and a marvelous spiritual writer. What greater statement is there of the human condition, to be or not to be? That is the question.